Heel wat lekker baie mense. Môre julle ouens, good morning boys and girls. Ek sien Hayden is hier, so ons kan dit lekker in 'n Engelse klas hier doen weer vandag. Good morning all. I trust you guys had a great weekend. Looking forward to share some exciting information with you guys this morning. And now I'm going to give it over to Coach Charles right away. Coach Charles.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad we can be online again this morning, and very thankful for that. Something I would just like to share with you guys this morning, and I think something which is very, very important, and that word I want to use this morning is gratitude. My question is, did you say thank you this morning? Did you say thank you to somebody this morning for your house, for your food, for your clothes, for your health? Just the fact that you can be on Zoom, if you've got high Wi-Fi and internet this morning, you are very privileged to be able to play sport, play tennis, to have a racket, to have equipment. It's all stuff to be thankful for. And I think the fact that you've got parents that's looking after you, I think you guys can just go back to them today and thank them for every opportunity they give you. So thank God, thank your parents, thank your coach, whoever is helping you to get in a better place in life. And never ever lose that gratitude. Thank you the people that make those things possible for you. Gratitude will put you in the right set of mind. As jy dankbaar is, if you're thankful for what you've got, it will put you in the right set of mind, and it will help you to always give your best, to appreciate what you've got, to care for the people around you. This course we're doing, you will see we're always busy helping each other to become better and to give back to the people around us. We're not just only caring about ourselves, but we're also caring about the people around us. And with that, people, we want to try and bring out some hope today. We really want to bring up some hope with for everybody around us as well. So make today your best day. Go and say thank you to everyone that helped you so far. One day might be too late, so do it today. So daarmee wil ek julle vandag instuur, en ek wil hê julle moet ook hierdie klas geniet. Enjoy this class, and just be grateful and have a great attitude towards today. Thank you very much, Coach Beatrice.
Thank you, Coach Charles. Boys and girls, this morning, I would like to just come in there for a moment, and I'm a big sport lover. Tennis is not the only thing we love. We love a lot of different sports, and I'm busy watching a series on Test cricket, and it's regarding the Australian cricket team and a new era. And Coach Charles says you've got to be grateful. Spot on, spot on. You've got to have positive minds. If you're going to be positive about everything in life, it's okay to get down sometimes, but you've got to get back up. But briefly, I just saw on a whiteboard in their locker room, and there's cameras following the whole team, the management team, the players and everyone. And on one of their whiteboards late last night, I saw they've got PFO, and it says positive vibes only. Positive vibes only. So once you leave this class for the rest of the day, you're only going to have positive vibes. Because if you're going to have a positive mind, good things happen. If you're going to be negative, you will only see the negative things happening around you, and you actually miss a great opportunity to see all the good things and the good people and everyone's trying to help you with. So really, really important. Gaan uit vandag hierdie hele week. Gaan skryf hierdie op 'n stuk papier. PVO. Groot. En net positive vibes only. Sê dit sommer vir jou hele huisgesin. Sê vir jou ma, jou pa. Nee. Hierdie week, PVO. Ons gaan net positive vibes hê. Maak saak wat gebeur, wat sê die nuus nie, dit. Daar's nie tennis nog nie op die baan nie. Ons gaan positive vibes hê. Dis maar ek dink net kom net so mooi in wat Charles vanoggend gesê het om dankbaar te wees, to be Really grateful for everything in your life. Now, boys and girls, this morning, we're going to talk about 2 points. First thing, we're going to talk about patterns. Now, patterns, understandably, junior tennis, you've got to understand a beginner may be a beginner. But a general pattern on junior tennis would be they're going to miss the forehand return. They're going to miss the backhand return. They're just going to miss forehands. They're going to miss backhands. And they're going to double fault. It's not going to be really that exciting next to a junior tennis player's court, unfortunately. That's why pros are pros and beginners are beginners. The pros have got huge fan clubs, and the junior tennis players, well, they've got 2 fans. Okay, and fan is fanatical. Even if there's no patterns, they will still love you. Now, as you improve, you will actually develop more patterns. You understand that you've got to have good strokes to play patterns. Why? Because patterns is a combination of shots being put together to put out a plan the way you want to play. Now, it's important that you understand you are mostly defined by the pattern you play, okay? Meaning, if you serve and you volley most of the time, you're known as a serve and volley player. If you are a player that only likes to hit ground strokes on the baseline, you will be known as a baseliner. If you like to play ground strokes on the baseline, move in when you see a short ball, and play up at the net, you will be known as an all-court player, okay? But here's a couple of things. Can you actually serve and volley? Do you have a great serve? Do you have a volley? Can you do that in a match? Can you take a second serve and hit it and go forward to the net? Can you actually play an underspin ground stroke, just in general, changing it up? Can you hit your return with underspin and move forward? Can you actually play variety, meaning you're going to hit the ball higher over the net? You're going to try and get the ball deeper, way higher than usual, even maybe a moon ball. Push your opponent really back and you sneak into the net. Do you have that in your arsenal? Can you play an invitation shot, a drop shot, have your opponent come into the net, draw them out of their comfort zone? Now, unfortunately, especially in junior players, even actually on a higher level of play, pro level, they play the same way all the time. And it's not working, and it's just like, okay, I'm going to keep bumping my head against the wall. You've got to be adaptable. You want to try and change patterns. You want to keep your opponent on his toes. You're like, whoa, I mean, this player is doing anything and everything. You don't want to play too many patterns as well, because you've got to know your strengths versus your weaknesses. Now, there's approximately 50 points in a set play, boys and girls. Now, you've got to know the scoring system in tennis, okay? If you're up by 2 or more points, it's called the green light point. Now, when you've got the green light point, be risky. Play a drop shot off the return. Although not always, but more play approach shots off the return second serve. But the scoreboard's on your side. You can mix up your patterns. You can keep your opponent, again, guessing. An example would be your opponent is love 40 serving. So you guys are serving, I'm returning. You guys are love, I'm on 40. I mean, the math's on my side. Doesn't matter first serve, second serve. I'm going to, especially on that second serve though, I'm going to hit that return and I'm going to rush up to the net. I'm going to force the play. That is a great example of playing a pattern. So, Gabby, for this course, what do you understand regarding patterns?
So in junior tennis, there's not a lot of patterns played, and there's approximately 50 points played in each set. And that is where the green light point comes in. And a green light point is where you're up by 2 points or more. For example, 30 love, 40-15, or 40 love. And I call 40 love a super green light point because there you can be risky. You can take a drop shot and come in and finish the point with a volley. And you really need to understand when it's a green light point. And tennis players are defined the way they play. So if you like to stay back on the baseline and hitting ground strokes all day without coming to the net, you are known as a baseline player, as a baseliner. And when you like to serve and volley and you serve and volley all the time without hitting ground strokes from the baseline, you're known as a serve and volleyer. But when you like to play ground strokes and to hit volleys, you're known as an all-court player.
Very good, Gabby. Now, Gabby did mention if you in junior tennis, you serve and volley a whole lot. We don't see that very often at junior tennis. Actually, it's a dying art. They're trying to really, players are trying to really bring that to the front now, where they really go forward more. It's just because athletes have developed so much. Just give me a moment. I just want to allow someone in, please. Okay. Now, the next point we're going to discuss, boys and girls, is going to be statistics. Okay. Very, very important. You want to be managed by stats and not the scoreboard. Very important. Okay. Now, there's going to be 4 sets of numbers we're going to talk about. The first one's going to be stroke production. Second one's going to be stats in general. Third one's going to be score. And then the fourth one, ranking. Okay. Now, you already guessed it. What you guys want to talk about is score and ranking. It's painful, absolutely painful to sit next to a junior tennis tournament. And the first question you hear from parents and your peers, your fellow players, what was the score? Did you win? Okay. What was his ranking? It doesn't matter. When you go into the global picture, whatever happens in junior tennis, it will not define you if you really want to go to the pro players. You want to understand patterns. You've got to understand statistics. But parents and players, for the most part, it's brutal. Talking to players at a tournament, it's only score and ranking. Why not stroke production? You lost, but boy, oh boy, you got your racket below the ball. Boy, oh boy, you played such a better match, although you lost. But, you know, that car drive back home, you lost. I mean, even if you played a bit against a lower level player and you won, everything's okay. But no one's talking about the real statistics. How did you win? How did you perform? Tennis court is a stage, and it's your opportunity to set up a great stage. For that to happen, you need to know statistics. So the ball, for instance, is going to be hit 3 ways. The tennis ball can only be hit 3 ways. It's called a plus, a minus, or an IP. Plus means you're going to hit the ball really strong. Minus is going to be you're going to hit the ball really weak, different zones of the court. IP is neutral or it's in play. Now, the point, the actual tennis point only ends 3 ways. It's going to be plus, plus. That means someone hit a winner. It's going to be minus, minus. Someone hit an unforced error. What's going to be a minus F? Someone hit a forced error. That's where you actually force your opponent to make a mistake. Now, when we talk about stats, you've actually got to chart every match. Every time you play points, you've got to chart a match. So just for basic demonstration purposes, this is called a T-chart. There's way different charting opportunities. You can see right here, we've got Gabby, and Gabby's got a plus column and she's got a minus column. Then she's playing me, and obviously she will be losing, but I've also got a plus column and a minus column. Okay, now you've got to understand what is your point differential. Okay, that's going to where you're going to add your pluses and you're going to subtract it from your minuses. Although you want to put in your minus Fs, when you force your opponent, you want to put them in the plus column as well. So your point differential, listen to this. It's going to be your plus plus your minus F minus your minus minus. And that will give you your point differential. Because that's very important. You could win a match, you maybe won, but you're ending in a -7. You're ending in a -7. How can you be so glad you won? Yes, you maybe found it a way, you sorted some things out, figured it out maybe late, but for the most part, it's not like it's a real theater and everyone's just clapping hands. It's like a tower of terror when you watch junior tennis players. And there's so many reasons, strokes, physically, mentally, emotionally, but the unforced errors column usually is just so high and the winner column is really so low. So really, what is your level regarding statistics? Now, a player like Gabby, it's so important that Gabby and you guys and girls have a basic understanding of stats so that you can be managed by stats and not the scoreboard, because it could be really, really confusing. Examples on stats on stroke production, the way you hit the ball. Your angle of your grip determines the angle of the racket face, okay? The angle of the racket face will determine the angle of the racket path. Where did you make contact with the ball? Did you make contact too close or did you make contact further out in front? how fast did the racket move through the ball? What racket head speed did you have? Then, how many revolutions per second did you have on the ball? Did you really have that ball rotating with true top? Or was it whoa, 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 like a frisbee? Okay. Now, another example of stats would be you came to the net, listen very carefully, you came to the net 20% of the time during the match. Out of the 20% you came to the net, you won 70% of the points. That is huge. You would be way, way smarter to increase your net appearances, way more than 20%, but lose a little bit less. Let's say you win 60% of the points. 60%, roughly a D. D in tennis is beautiful. You get a D, you win 6-0, 6-0. It doesn't have to be A+ every time. You won't be able to win 80% of the points. Then lastly, when it comes to the score, we know score very well. Don't be confused. But unfortunately, we know suitcase tennis. If you go to a junior tournament, you will struggle to find a brutal 3-set match, the whole tournament. It will be suitcase tennis. It's going to be 7-5, 6-0. It's going to be 7-6, 6-1. I haven't seen a lot of junior tennis matches where it's 7-6, 6-7, 7-6. You just don't hear about that. Numerous reasons why, but it's suitcase tennis. You've got to know stats. My point on stats is crummy plays crummier. Crummy wins. He doesn't even know he's crummy. You beat someone, they blind, you're blind. That's like, whoa, we've got to know our level. We've got to know statistics. Red, yellow, green, DNO, where you are, all those little details you've got to know. So Gabby, that was a mouthful. Maybe you can summarize statistics.
Stats for me is the way I hit the ball, and you can hit the ball 3 ways: plus, minus, or IP. Plus is strong, minus is weak, and IP is in play. It's a neutral rally ball. And the point can end in 3 ways: plus, plus, minus, minus, or minus F. Plus, plus is a winner, minus, minus is an unforced error, and minus F is a forced error. And a forced error is when you force your opponent to make a mistake. And that is where you need to understand your point differential. And that would be plus, 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 minus F, minus, minus, minus. And when you have your T charts, you have a plus column and you have a minus column. And then you want to subtract them to one another and minus them from one another. And then you either end in a plus or in a minus. And you actually want to end in a plus, because when you end in a plus, it means you played a great match. But when you end in the minus, it means you didn't play a great match.
Very good, Gabby. Okay, let's ask Gabby a very difficult question. Gabby, what is your view on aggressive percentage tennis?
So aggressive percentage tennis is when you play aggressively and you hit to your percentage post and you hit high over the net and not low over the net, and you have a lot of spin on the ball. So it's basically when you play aggressive to your percentage post, high and heavy with a lot of spin.
She's getting better. She's getting better. Now, boys and girls, it's really important that you understand. Yes, it's going to be theory right now. Things got to go up in levels. We've got to have patterns, statistics, slow down, explain, discuss, and then go implement it on a tennis court. So hopefully this information, if it's a little bit boring, I'm really sorry for your part. Truly, you've got to be all over this information. It's going to put you in a different league. If you want to stand out, you've got to be different. No one stood out by doing what everyone else does, going the same way and going the same route. So dare to be different. And from my side, thank you very much for today. We're looking forward for the test later on in this week. Really, really tough. So you've got to really study this. And remember, PFO, positive vibes only. Coach Charles, is there anything from your side you would want to maybe come in there?
Yeah, I think all I would like to say is, and I think was a very important point, it is not about when you come from a court that whether you won or whether you lost, but the most important thing is, you know, that we follow the statistics and see whether we've played some great shots and whether I improved my strokes and I kept a good percentage on my game. So yeah, from my side, thank you very much, Coach Petrus and Gabby. I think it was a good lesson, and we see each other tomorrow morning.
Coach Scholl will be taking tomorrow morning's lesson, guys. 8 o'clock sharp. See you then.